So even in the greatest joy, there is still, even the greatest joy, there's still heartache, and that's true, right? In the deepest sorrow, there's joy. In the greatest joy, there is heartache, right? It's just the way life is. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Like Carl Gibran would say, life and death are the same thing, right? Right? They flow into one another, just like the river flows into the sea, right? It's just being able to know what they are and use them to bless our life, rise above them and use them, not let them use you. Don't let life use you, use life. Don't let death use you, use death, right? Some people are being used by death, and because of the fear of death, they subject themselves to unimaginable things. Some people are being used by life because they think that that's all there is. They go into extremes, of carnal things, and they are lost in it, right? Life, life living is being master of life and death, using them and not them using you, right? That's how you get the abundant life. That's how you get the life, that is worth living, right? So grieve and live and grieve, because if we're paying attention, every moment is pregnant, right? Every moment is pregnant with both pain and possibility. There's simply never one or the other, right? Every moment has its pain, has its possibilities, has its opportunities, has, possible loss. But again, the important thing is being a master of it. Being a master of life means that you are set up to receive the opportunities and the joy, and you're also in a position to accept, the losses, the sorrow in the morning also, right? There's no one without the other. The key thing is getting a balanced approach to life. Life has joys, life has sorrows, right? Being able to live, of a complete life, is being able to accept both of them in their own time, in their own place, in their own way, right? So cultivating hearts that can hold both sorrow and celebration is deep spiritual work. Deep spiritual work is being able to take both of them. I know I hear some ministers will tell you, oh, you never have pain. You will not mourn. You will not sorrow. I mean, those are immature people. Those are babes, because that's not what life is made up of. God does not answer that prayer, right? There's a time to sorrow. There's a time to rejoice, right? We just pray that it comes in his own season, in his own time. It doesn't come out of season. It doesn't come out of time, right? There's a time to be born. There's a time to die, right? And there's no prayer against it, right? When they make such prayers, they're just trying to deceive you, right? So they can put you under a spell that is not real, right? Because that's just the way God created this universe, right? It's life, there's death, right? And they're the yin and yang of life. They are two seeming opposing principles, but they work together. They support one another, right? And being able to accept both of them in life is to win in life, right? It's the broken pieces that tell a story of loss and failure, right? Our rage and redemption. They remind us of how much we can hurt those we love, and they represent the possibilities of forgiveness. They are imperfect just as we are, right? Uh, and when we're broken, when we face life and we bounce back from the life, we see life in a better light. See, I'm able to appreciate life more because I've been in depression 2 times. I've been in depression 2 times, 2 years. So I can appreciate life more from a better perspective than I used to. I'm not going to be one of those preachers that'll come and tell you no sorrow. No, I mean, those are stupid, those are immature people, right? But having been through life, having been through the stream of life, it gives you a better perspective, to live life by. You know what you don't know, you know what you know. And you're humble about it because life has humbled you, just by the stream of life. It's like we'll say you might have many theories before you have your first child. But when you have to raise children, after you've raised children, you probably have no theories, because you have practicals. You see that it's a learning thing, right? There are no fixed laws about this or that. You learn, you learn, and as you go along the way, you grow into it, as it were. Same thing with marriage. I see people who have never married before and they think they know everything about marriage until you come into marriage. It's something that you learn on the job, because there are emotions involved in it. And those emotions make a whole lot of difference. You can know all the right things in your head. Your ability to manage those emotions is probably more important than what you have in your head, because it determines your action at each point in time, right? So there's nothing more whole than a broken heart. So says Kosla Rebbe, right? When we become broken, we become whole because we see life from a better perspective. You know, Life humbles us, as it were. And we're able to then see life from a better perspective, not to be submitted to life, but to know how to do life better. You're able to do life better. You're able to do life in such a way that you're not a prisoner of life, not death. Yeah. So it's our brokenness that beauty and truth are revealed. It's in our brokenness that beauty and truth are revealed. I used to be a very passionate person, and probably still am, but I've had to curb my passion, because of my experience of life. I found that my passion, uncontrolled, unbridled, will do more harm than good. People will misread me, even though my intentions are right. You know, People can easily misunderstand my passion because they feel threatened by them, and that might, as it were, distort my good intentions. But you see, I'm learning that, and I've learned that by the passage of time, by being beaten, several times because of those passions, right? I've also learned better my personality and how to better regulate myself, right? As a place of mastery, of growth, of maturity, being able to regulate yourself, So I'm able to then produce beauty, out of my being by reason of that. And on to the last slide here for this chapter. It says, life is a sacred fusion of sorrow and celebration, and all of it is holy, right? It's a sacred fusion of both of them. Being able to sorrow with those that sorrow, and sorrow also for yourself. You're going through a time of sorrow, and being able to rejoice with those that rejoice, and rejoice also, being able to do the two together in an essential balance, that you don't lose out of life. You don't lose out of humanity. That's important. Resilient people get that shit happens. Things happen. Because you're resilient doesn't mean that things won't happen. Things happen. But there are bad days, there are good days. Things break. People disappoint. It's being resilient is not that you don't accept the reality of life. That things might fail. Rather it is that suffering is a part of life. Being disappointed is a part of life. Being let down is a part of life. It's a part of human existence. Therefore, you don't let it have the mastery over you. Don't let it have the last say over you. But you triumph over the disappointment. You triumph over the let down. You triumph over the failure. Your mind is on the solution. Your mind is on how to get going, how to get through in spite of the let go or let down, right? So nobody expects you to do everything, right? Nobody expects you to do everything. Life doesn't expect you to do everything. God does not expect you to do everything, right? But that doesn't free you from doing nothing. There's always something we can do. And life expects us to do that which we can do. That's what we're being held to ransom for. That which we can do. If we can do that which we can do, then we've done everything. If we don't do that which we can do, we've done nothing. We need to do something for our life to be better, for us to be a blessing, both to ourselves, to our family, and to our environment. We need to war with that which has been put into our hands. And that scripture, comes powerful to me. Is Genesis 2:15. God put Adam in the Garden of Eden to tend and to keep it, to tend and to keep it, to tend and to keep it, to culture and to keep it, to cultivate it and to keep it, right? And that's what God expects every one of us also, that we cultivate our life, we tend our life, we keep it, we tend our life, we keep our life, right? We don't take it for granted. We don't assume that things will work. We do the work to sow, to do our part. Because until we do our part, God will not do his part. God expects us to do that which is in our power to do, so that he can do the things that are outside of our power to do, to make our life the beauty it ought and is destined to be. Thank you. That's all I got for today.